That slow, steady cooldown creeping across the nation is only the opening act. We're about to step into a setup that's ready to unleash some serious cold. It's likely the most powerful blast of Arctic air we've seen so far this season, and it's moving in fast. Around the 9th or 10th, the models show a full-scale plunge of frigid Canadian air surging straight into the U.S. Sure, November began on a chilly note for many, but this next wave looks like the real deal. And here's the kicker. Once it passes, we may not get much of a breather before another brutal cooldown takes its place. So buckle up, November's barely begun, and it's already coming in swinging. Before diving into that deep freeze, let's check out what's happening right now. Today's weather is a mixed bag across the country, scattered showers sweeping across the northern tier. Light snow over the Cascades and northern Rockies, patchy rain through Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the upper peninsula of Michigan. Nothing too intense, but enough to keep the atmosphere active down south. A weak low-pressure system is stirring up showers through Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, and into the Carolinas, with some coastal rain pushing toward the southeast and Ohio Valley later in the day. It's an active pattern, but the real story unfolds when we look ahead. Once we dig into the model guidance, things start to get a lot more compelling. Over the past few days, from Halloween through early November, the pattern has evolved exactly as expected. A robust ridge of warmth has been building over the western U.S. and Canada, what meteorologists call a positive, PNA. And when that happens, 9 times out of 10, cold air dives deep into the central and eastern United States. And right now, that's precisely what's happening. By the way, if you'd like specific forecasts for your region or city, drop them in the comments. I'll reply as time allows. And if you enjoy these updates, please like and subscribe to support the channel. We're already seeing a serious chill gripping much of the east and south, temperatures running 10 to 15 degrees Fahrenheit, below average across states like Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and even parts of Florida. Up north, it's not as extreme, but still well below normal. A clear signal that the pattern has flipped. Over the next few days, that momentum keeps rolling. Rain continues across the southeast and mid-Atlantic, while another system sweeps through the Great Lakes and Northeast, pulling in cooler air behind it, maybe even delivering the first meaningful snow of the season to higher elevations like the Adirondacks, Green Mountains, and northern Maine. Meanwhile, the Pacific Northwest gears up for a relentless barrage of systems, a true parade of storms. Midweek, another Pacific system slams ashore, dropping heavy mountain snow over the Sierra Nevada, Cascades, and northern Rockies, while coastal areas deal with soaking rain. For the Northwest, it's going to feel like one endless storm cycle. By late week, that western energy starts sliding east. The setup looks classic warm air surging along the west coast, while Arctic air plunges south through the Midwest and east. Around November 9th to 10th, that cold front sharpens dramatically, setting the stage for a powerful atmospheric clash. Humid, unstable Gulf air meeting bone-chilling Arctic air. That's where we could see thunderstorms, possibly severe, across the Gulf states with cold rain and snow spreading northward. And yes, we're watching snow potential closely. The models are already hinting at a major central U.S. snow event later this month, with the Rockies, Dakotas, and upper Midwest potentially getting buried under a foot or more if everything aligns. It's still early, but the signals are undeniable and we'll be monitoring every update. Meanwhile, the East Coast could get its own taste of winter if that deep offshore trough nudges just a bit westward. That subtle shift could mean the difference between a dry, icy wind or a full-blown coastal snowstorm for regions like the Catskills, Adirondacks, and beyond. Parts of New England are once again in the spotlight. And what's remarkable about this setup is just how locked in it appears. Cold wave after cold wave, shot after shot, the pattern looks relentless. The models are showing far more cold anomalies than warmth over the next couple of weeks. This isn't a quick chill. It's a full-scale pattern reversal. If you've been following my recent updates, you'll remember I mentioned that brief, quiet stretch, that zonal flow that's been keeping things relatively calm with milder air across much of the country. That still holds true for a few more days. This morning, though, we're seeing some lingering storms, especially down south. Texas took a pounding overnight with hail, And as that system pushes east, expect a few more storms rumbling through the Carolinas before it slides out into the Atlantic. But after that, things shift fast. Once this next trough digs in, we're looking at a legitimate pattern flip that's about to unleash the kind of cold that truly bites. By late next week, temperatures will plummet as freezing air spills out of Canada and cascades through the northern plains, Midwest, and deep into the southeast. We're seeing signals of minus 15 degrees Fahrenheit. Below average across huge regions. Some pockets could dive as much as 20 below normal. And for all my snow lovers out there, this is the setup you've been waiting for. The atmosphere is priming itself for a snowy resurgence. While it's still early to lock in totals, several models are hinting at a major snow event forming, particularly for New England and possibly the Rockies. Higher elevations could easily see significant accumulations once this Arctic air digs in. It all comes down to the perfect timing, how the cold and moisture align. But one thing's certain, winter is knocking, and it's coming in loud. Let's break down the timeline. Through midweek, that zonal flow keeps conditions calm. No large storm systems forming just yet. We'll see some Pacific activity out west with storms, pushing into Northern California and the Pacific Northwest around Wednesday. Followed by another round Thursday into Friday for Oregon and Washington. Then, everything changes. Between November 8th and 15th, the models start lighting up with a deep, cold anomaly. The European GFS and Canadian runs are all aligned. This isn't just a passing cold front. It's a true Arctic blast. Initially, it hammers the central U.S. before sliding east. As we head toward mid to late November, the entire pattern shifts again. Driving that cold air back toward the western U.S., that's how you know the atmosphere is alive. It's breathing. Oscillating back and forth across the continent. A key driver here is the North Atlantic Oscillation now, okay? And it's trending negative. That signals a blocking pattern over the North Atlantic, which funnels frigid, dense air southward into the U.S. once the now flips back toward neutral or positive. The cold retreats westward, shifting the focus of the chill. Timing will determine which half of the country gets hit hardest. Now let's talk numbers. By next Saturday, we could be seeing temperature departures of minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit, below normal stretching from the Dakotas all the way down into Texas and across into the southeast. The Great Lakes and Northeast look to stay locked in the cold zone. It's possibly stuck in the 40s for daytime highs in some areas. Moving into early the following week. That's when the cold peaks Texas to northern Florida, even into the Appalachians, will feel brutally frigid for November standards by mid-month. The entire pattern begins migrating westward, setting up a stormy, snowy regime for the Pacific side of the country. That's when we'll likely see significant snow buildup in the Rockies, Sierra Nevada, and possibly even the Cascades, potentially several feet in the higher elevations. And of course, the big question, are we getting a major snowstorm out of this? It's absolutely possible. The latest GFS runs are teasing the formation of a strong system between November 9th and 11th, with heavier snow potential across the interior Northeast and New England. Forecasting snow that far out is tricky, but there's enough consistency in the data to keep a very close watch. Don't forget about the wind chills either. Once that Arctic air floods in, it's going to sting. Even as far south as northern Georgia and Alabama, mornings could dip to freezing or near freezing. Across the Central Plains and Upper Midwest, single-digit wind chills will make it feel like January. And Canada, as always, takes the brunt, with deep negatives and dangerously low wind chills. If you'd like a custom weather forecast for your city or region, drop it in the comments. I'll respond as time allows. Commenting is completely free. Thanks for watching, and remember, winter is coming, and it means business. Thank you guys. See you next video.